Thank you. Thank you very much. So nice of you. Uh, Today we are going to discuss about the IP security, which is normally sorry, which is normally known as the IPsec as well. It's a very important concept. So we need to discuss about the IPsec or IP security. In short, we call this as the IPsec. And then we will see that what is the IPsec or IP security, what type of applications are linked with the IPsec, what are the benefits of the IPsec, and how this is actually means different from the SSL or TSL or VPN concept. And we will see that how the SSL VPN, where they are working at what layers and where this IPsec is working. And we see that why we actually really required IPsec and how this can strengthen further to the firewall as well. In addition to that, we will see that why we required IPsec in case if suppose we already have the firewall or we already have the SSL or TLS mechanism, then why we required this. These all are the questions in our mind that we are supposed to get the answer at the end of the lecture once we will be knowing about that. So IPsec or IP security, as you can see from this figure, just to elaborate you so you can understand it well, that where it is working or where it actually exists. You can see from this picture that router A and router B. Router A is connected to the one segment of the network. Router B is connected with the other segment of the network, and there is in between a cloud of internet, and IPsec is actually providing us a secure tunnel. In other words, we can say that IPsec is helping us to provide a secure tunnel while data communication. So you remember that our whole course, our whole encryption techniques, our whole asymmetric and symmetric approaches, a whole algorithms what we discuss, we always focusing on this particular module for the data while the data is on communication path. So in other words, we can see here that this IPsec is providing us a secure path, a secure tunnel, a secure way, a secure mechanism while we are transferring our data from A to B, from Alice to Bob, from one router to another router, from one organization to another organization. To make it more simple, we can say that it is providing us the secure path, secure tunnel, secure way, while our data packets are at the move or during the communication at the internet cloud. And then we will see that how this is different from the SSL, TLS, firewall, and other things. But before we get the answers for those, we have to go in a more depth about the IPsec and try to know further about this, when it was applied, how it was applied, for what applications it was applied, for what applications it is useful, where we are using and how we are using, and then we will get the answer for those questions as well. So with your permissions, going to the next slide. The next slide is letting us know about the IPsec overview. And it's mentioning us that this belongs to the RFC 1636. As you already know that the RFC is actually request for comment. This is a document. And 1636 is the number for that particular document. And this is designed for the security in the internet architecture. And that RFC was issued in 1994 by whom? By the Internet Architecture Board, which is worldwide known as IAB. What they identified, what type of the requirement or needs they feel, so they come up for this one. They identifies the key, it identifies the key areas of security mechanism. What key areas of the security mechanisms? Which need to secure the network infrastructure from the unauthorized monitoring and control of the network traffic. The aim was controlling the network traffic. The aim was to control the unauthorized monitoring. This means man in the middle attack. This means the time while the data is traveling from one point to another point. This means while the data is in the communication part. This means the communication security. In network security, communication security. That was the goal for this IPsec. Need to secure end user to end user traffic using the authentication and encryption mechanism. What was the second point of the goal? They try to make sure that the data packets reach safely, securely from one point to another point during communication. That's what we discussed in the point number 1. With a right authentication method, with the right encryption method. What do you mean by the right encryption method? Here, the right encryption method, it means which can provide higher level of security. Now, IAB, which is the Internet Architecture Board, they included the authentication and encryption as necessary security features. For whom? For the next generation of the IPv6. So the scientists, they were working on that. In 1994, planning that at that time about IPv6 version, which is in practice nowadays. Now the IPsec specifies our specifications now actually exists as a set of internet standards. Nowadays, it is the one standard, common standard for internet where we are using the IPsec. But that was the overview that 1636 was the RFC document. It was moved or presented by IAB in 1994. They were having the goal that how they can make the communication secure between the 2 points and how they can provide the proper encryption and authentication. And they were planning also about the IPv6 as well. But nowadays it is in practice. We are using for IPv6 and we are using for the purposes. That's what purposes we explained here. Going ahead. Now after that, we can see that what are the applications of IPsec. There are so many applications of IPsec, but here we are just coming up with the sum of the group of the applications to just enlighten the importance of the IPsec. IPsec can provide us the capability to secure the group of applications which requires the communication, including the LAN, local area networks, private and public wireless area networks, and the internet as well. It means that it is providing the services from the smaller scale to the medium level of scale and to the large level of scale. It means it is useful for us for all of the scales starting from small to the large. Further examples which are include that the secure branch office connectivity over the internet. In case if suppose two branches are, they can be connected securely using the IPsec. Secure remote access as well over the internet. Remotely, you can access to the servers and resources while you are using the IPsec. Also establishing the extranet and intranet connectivity with the partners within the organization and outside the organization, and then they connect the different networks, can make the extranet and intranet as well. So we already explained that this is working at all of these scales from LAN, from WAN up to the internet, entire internet cloud. It is actually enhancing the electronic commerce security as well. What do you mean by the electronic commerce security? It means for the online transactions, online businesses. There we are also using the IPsec. As we discussed in previous slide, that nowadays it's an standard of internet what we are using for the security, which is the IPsec. And we are using in so many different domains and application areas that what we explain them here. Now further, the principal features of IPsec are means how it is working, what is the mechanism. It provides the encryption. It also provides the authentication, or it provides the either one or two, both as well, to all of the traffic at the IP level. What do you mean by the IP level? After some time you will be knowing. You remember when we discussed about the SSL, we said that SSL reside at the top of the TCP, while this IPsec is living in the same layer model below to the TCP. So what does it mean? That it provide all the things, all the traffic at the IP level. Thus all the distribution are distributed applications which are including remote logins, client, server, email, file transfer, web access, or any other application can be secured, because this is living below the SSL, below the TCP, and it is working for all of the applications, and it is providing the encryption and authentication, or encryption or authentication depend on the application requirement. Going ahead, it provides the secure branch office connectivity as well. Two of the branches within the same city or other city, keep them connected is a challenge. Secure connect is a challenge. So IPsec is providing that particular solution as well, that those companies can build a secure virtual private network over the internet or even over the public WAN as well. And also in addition, this enables to the business sector, small sector, and other organizations to rely heavily on the internet by providing the secure services, so they can shift even there are so many calling, voice or IP calling, and other operations as well, shift them to the internet, and then they can save their cost as well. So in other words, we can say this is the choice of our time. This is the demand of our time. This is the application or standard of this time, of current time. Top of that, it also provides secure remote access over the internet. Nowadays, a huge challenge is actually the remote connectivity. In case if suppose due to the COVID situations, most of the people, they wish to connect with their servers in their offices from the home using the remote mechanism. So we are always concerned about the security perspective of the servers. So what happens if suppose while our server is secure, we are using the secure mechanisms and we are using everything fine. But what happens if suppose we are reaching to the server using the remote connectivity? So during that point, from our home till we are reaching to the server, in between at the internet cloud, if suppose man in the middle attack or any kind of thing, or any kind of passive attack or active attack is happening on our request, so it means that that person is manipulating the commands what we are trying to send to the server. So this will be highly risky. So now this is the one who is providing us a solution for the remote connectivity as well. Now, those systems which are equipped with the IP security protocols can make even a local calls as well using to the Internet Services ISP. Nowadays, if you notice that in most of the offices we are using the intercom, those intercoms are IP based as well, which is trying to help us by providing a secure connectivity, high quality of call, and also means reducing the cost. So this is how the IPsec is helping us in different domains and in different areas. And this is how it is helping to the businesses by reducing the cost, and also it is means helping us not to depend on the telecommunication or on the other resources as well. In other words, we can say IPsec is making enable and independent to the organizations where they have the branch offices or inside their network as well. And also, in addition, it is helping us to enhance the level of security. How? We will see in a couple of minutes. In addition to that, it is also helping to establishing the extranet and intranet connectivity with the partners. In case if suppose in the industry, in the organization, there are multiple branches are there, so they can be able to keep them connected and can deal as a single network and can use the same softwares and same applications for all of the branches while securely with the help of the IPsec. So this is not only enhancing the connectivity, but at the same time, it is also enhancing the security, and also it is reducing the cost of the business. So this is equally good from the different or multiple parameters. Electronic commerce or e-commerce security is highly important. What we call the e-commerce means that any transaction which we are doing while we are doing our online businesses. This goes from the online money transfer for any of the application, including your grocery application, your online shopping application, your transfer of your fees, your transfer of the funds from the one account to other account, the transfer of your money for the paying your bills and utility bills and other payments. So these all of the transactions are actually known as e-commerce transactions. That is the high demanding security applications. That is the high demanding security domain. So IPsec is providing the required security levels, and based on that, we can see that our online businesses are flourishing day by day. Now, we may not confuse ourselves that those e-commerce applications, they are not fully relying on the IPsec, but they are using their own security mechanisms as well. And on top of that, means this IPsec is providing another extra layer of the security, which is enhancing its application security level. The same way, it is helping to the organizations to enhancing the security level besides of the firewall they are using. How it is going to be happen, we will discuss in our upcoming slides. Actually, IPsec guarantees the traffic, whatever is going from the source to destination in the e-commerce transactions or in any other transaction, that there will be no issue in between, because the IPsec is providing a secure channel for them to reach the data at the destination. Now, if we see what are the benefits of the IPsec, a lot of benefits. We can discuss a few of them. So you can see from here that the IPsec is implemented in a firewall or a router. So it means we can implement this on a firewall, as well as we can implement this on the routers as well. It provides the strong security that can be applied to the all traffic which is crossing either the firewall or either the routers. So please keep in mind, firewall already is providing a security. That is for the security purpose, filtering traffic, monitoring traffic. The routers, they are also there to route the paths, to send the data, and up to some certain level, they're providing security as well. So when we apply the IPsec, it is enhancing the security level for both of the levels, either for the routers or either for the firewalls. Yeah. Now, IPsec in a firewall is actually providing an enhanced mechanism of the security. How? In the firewall, some of the requests, some of the approaches, they can bypass the firewall. But when we apply the firewall beside of the IPsec, then there will be almost no or very less chances of bypassing the firewall. So you can see the point what it is letting us know. If all traffic from the outside must use the IP and the firewall, is the only means of entrance from the internet into the organization. So it means now there will be almost 0% chances of bypassing firewall. So if any IP, if any request is going to bypass the firewall, that will be stopped that will be handled, that will be controlled by the IPsec. This is how this is actually increasing the level of the security while we are applying with the firewall. So this is how you can understand it, how it is different from the firewall as well. The next point, as we discussed earlier, that the IPsec is below the transport layer, TCP layer. You remember we discussed in SSL and TLS that we discussed that what is the TCP and UDP. TCP is the transmission control protocol, and that is the handshake mechanism protocol. And UDP is the means protocol which does not require the handshake approach. So you remember that we discussed that the SSL and TLS, they are actually where they are living, where they are having a place in that model. They're having a place in that model at the top of TCP for SSL and TLS. But in IPsec, so you can see that IPsec is below, sorry, below that particular layer. Means the TCP will be a sort of sandwich, what we can see, just for your better understanding. At the top, we have SSL or TLS, and at the bottom of TCP, we have IPsec. And we can use both of them at the same time. No issue about that. And so it is transparent to the application. What do you mean by the transparent to the application? Because the application is at the upper layer. So applications are not knowing what protocol or what approaches we are using. So there is no having any bad impact on the applications. There is no need to change the software on a user or server system as well, because it does not have any impact directly with the application interface. So we don't require anything to change with that one. And IPsec is implemented where it can be implemented in the firewall or at the router. So now you can understand that where we can implement the IPsec, where it resides in this model, how it is different from the SSL and TLS, and how we can implement. We can implement it with the firewall or with the router, and it does not require any configuration, any changes, or any amendments in the user interface at the application level as well. So that's why the IPsec is, we can say that it is fully transparent to the end users. So the users who are using the application, internet, they will be not even knowing. Transparent means they will be not even knowing that either the IPsec is implemented or not. But they will be enjoying the security, the level of security, that's what we are discussing. So, because the user will not be knowing, that's why there is no requirement, there is no necessity that we have to train to the users as well. Doesn't require anything. No security mechanism or no security training is required for the users, for the end users. And that will be at the back end, which will be working at the lower layer of the TCP. IPsec also can provide the security to the individual users as well. And it can provide the security for the organizations as well. It is providing at all of the levels. That's why we started from LAN to WAN and up to the internet cloud. Mainly it is useful for the offsite workers, where they are setting for and they are creating the virtual networks and subnetworks in the organizations, and when they are trying to access their networks using the remote controls. So this is how, and these are the benefits what we can have from the IPsec. Going ahead. Now, how we can see that it is different from the SSL, from the VPN as well. VPN is the virtual private network. We call SSL VPN as well. So SSL or VPN, how they are different from the IPsec. So you can see from here that the IPsec supports the use of digital signature. When you go to the SSL only supports the use of the digital signature. This means this is the common feature among both of them, in IPsec and in SSL. Why we are comparing with SSL? Because the previous chapter we discussed about SSL or TLS. Then what's the difference? In the IPsec, it also used of the secret key algorithms. So it is one step ahead. So you remember that we were discussing that it is enhancing the security. As you notice in the figure number 1, where we notice that it is enhancing, it is providing the secure channel for the data packets to be transferred. And that is the standard of today. What I mean by the standard of today? It means that most of our applications, they are using the IPsec. Either they are on IPv4 or either they are on IPv6. All of the applications, they are using the same. Summary, we discussed what? We discussed about the IP security overview. Then we discussed about the applications, different application domains and areas of the IPsec. And then also we discussed about the different benefits of the IPsec. And we also try to understand the difference between the IPsec and SSL and TLS. That's what we are discussing all the time, that you have to understand the core concepts. As you can see that why these things are there, what is the difference among them, which thing we use where, what are the benefits from them, and what type of issues they are addressing. So I hope that you are clear about these all points. That's what we discussed. So this is just only for you. So we are done with this class for today for the IPsec. Just giving you a quick review about the IPsec, taking you back to the first slide, and you can find out the handouts, the notes at the bottom as well. So IPsec is the one which is providing us the security, or in other words, we can say it is enhancing the security for us while the data packets are moving from one location to other location. Thank you very much. If you have any question, please let me know. And if you don't have a question, then we will go for your attendance. No question? Okay, then we go for the attendance, and we may request to Alia, please stop the recording as we can go for the attendance.